Life as We Knew It. Chapter 14, page 214, October 2nd. I turned on the stove to boil water, and no flame came out. I ran the hot water in the kitchen, and the water stayed cold. I guess Aaron's father knew what he was talking about when he said the natural gas would be turned off by October. Mom says it's okay, we can heat our food and boil our water on the wood stove. She's refusing to let us use up the last of our oil for the furnace. But at least we're not dependent on gas for our heat. A lot of families are worse off than we are. We've all been taking just one shower a week for a while now, but with no hot water, I guess no more showers at all. And no hot water is going to make washing clothes that much harder. I know it shouldn't bother me, but it does. I can see Mom's upset too, even though she's acting like she isn't. I guess it's because things have been kind of level for a while, and now they're worse again. Not big bad worse, at least not for us or Mrs. Nesbit, who also has a wood stove and oil heat, but worse anyway. We played poker tonight, but none of us were really into it, which is probably why for the first time I was the big winner. Matt, Johnny, and I all went to the library. Mom's ankle still isn't strong enough for her to bike. The library was open, but Mrs. Hotchkiss was the only person working there. She said that this was the last day the library would be open. They just couldn't keep it open with no heat. There was no limit on how many books we could take. Mrs. Hotchkiss told us to take as many as we possibly could. If the library reopens in the spring, we can always bring them back. So we loaded up. We had our backpacks, and the bikes all have baskets, so we managed a dozen or more books each. We looked for ourselves and for Mom too. Since we've been playing poker, we've been reading less, and of course there are plenty of books in the house, including lots of old ones in the attic. But it's still upsetting to think that the library won't be there. Mrs. Hotchkiss said she and her husband were going to Georgia. Her husband has a sister there. Johnny asked her how they were going to get there, and she said walk if they had to. The temperature's been below freezing for the past 2 weeks, she said. If it's this bad in October, none of us will make it through the winter. I think we should go too, Johnny said as we were getting on our bikes to go home. We should go to Kansas and see if we can find Dad. We don't know where Dad is, Matt said. He could be in Colorado. He could be back at Springfield. No, I said. He would have stopped off here if they came back east. We still don't know where he is, Mom said. John, Mom and I have talked about it a lot, about what we should do. There's no point in going. We have shelter. We have firewood. So we won't freeze. It's not like we're going to be able to find food anyplace else. We don't know that, Johnny said. Maybe there's food in Kansas. Dad couldn't even get into Kansas, I said. Missouri then, Johnny said, or Oklahoma. I don't see why we're staying here just to die. We're not going to die, Matt said. You don't know that, Johnny said. What if the moon crashes in? Then it won't matter where we are, we'll die anyway, Matt said. Our chances of survival are best here. This isn't just happening to Pennsylvania, John. It's all over the world. We have a roof over our heads. We have heat. We have water. We have food. How long do you think we'd survive biking our way across country? Dad got gas, Johnny said. We could get gas. Dad bought black market gas, Matt said. He had connections, and at that, his gas ran out. Black market? I said. Matt looked at me like I was an infant. How do you think he got all that food? He said. You didn't really think it was waiting to be taken, did you? Does Mom know? I asked. Matt shrugged. Dad and I talked about it while we were cutting down trees, he said. I don't know what he talked to Mom about. He probably didn't tell her. Mom's happier not knowing things. You know that. I do, but I didn't realize Matt knew it also. So we're stuck here, Johnny asked. I'm afraid so, Matt said. But things will probably get better. Maybe not right away, but we'll make it. That's Mom's answer for everything. Hold on and wait until things get better. It didn't sound any more believable coming from Matt, but I know he's right about our not going. It's like the world before Columbus. People leave and you never hear from them again. They might as well have fallen off the face of the earth. We have each other. As long as we have each other, we'll be all right. October 6th. Mom's writing again, or at least she's typing. I'd forgotten how hard it is, she said. The letter A in particular. My left pinky isn't really up to it on a manual typewriter. It's been so long since it rained, I don't remember what it sounds like. It's getting harder to remember sunlight also. The days are getting shorter, but it doesn't matter. The air's getting worse too. The longer you stay out, the dirtier you are when you come in. Mom's worried about what all the ash is doing to Matt's and Johnny's lungs, even with the face masks, but they still keep chopping firewood for as long as they can every day. Mom and I scrub the clothes as hard as we can, but even though we're hanging them indoors, they're still gray. We wash ourselves every night, and the washcloths are filthy, and we can never really get them clean. The towels aren't much better. Matt says if the air is getting dirtier, it probably means more volcanoes are erupting, but we have no way of knowing. The post office is still open, but less and less mail is coming, and it's all weeks or months old when it finally arrives. Anything could have happened in September, and we'd have no way of knowing. One good thing about the extra ash, it's completely blocked out the moon. Before, especially on windy nights, you could make it out, but now it's totally gone. I'm glad I don't have to see it anymore. I can pretend it's not there, and if it isn't, maybe things will get back to normal. Okay, I know that's crazy, but I'm still glad I don't have to see the moon anymore. October 10th, Columbus Day. In honor of the holiday, I asked Mom to cut my hair really short the way I'd cut hers. Her hair hasn't grown out yet, but I've gotten used to it, and I hate washing my hair now. It never gets clean, and it's so lank and disgusting. I figured short would be better. So Mom chopped my hair off. When she finished, I looked at myself in the mirror. It was all I could do to keep from crying. But I didn't, and Mom kissed me and hugged me and told me I was beautiful with short hair. It's a good thing the bars are closed, she said. You could pass for 21. I really do love her, and at least we're not fighting anymore. Matt and Johnny came in, and I could see how shocked they were. But Matt said I looked great and asked Mom to cut his hair as well. Mom ended up cutting all our hair. We threw the hair in the wood stove and watched it sizzle. October 13th. It was 2 degrees below zero this morning. Mom and Matt had a big fight. Matt said we had to start using whatever oil we had. Mom said we should wait until November at least. Matt won the argument. He said our pipes were going to freeze and we might as well use up the well water while we still could. He and Johnny moved Mom's mattress out of the sunroom and into the kitchen. Then they went upstairs and got all the mattresses and one by one carried them downstairs. I went upstairs, closed off the heat registers, and closed the doors. We can go back to using our bedrooms in the spring, Mom said. This isn't forever. For the time being, Mom and I are sleeping in the kitchen, and Matt and Johnny are in the living room. Mom and I are actually better off since the kitchen gets a little bit of warmth from the wood stove in the sunroom. We also have more space. Matt and Johnny and I piled the dining room furniture and living room furniture together, so there's room for the 2 mattresses in there, but they barely have space to move around. When the fuel oil runs out, we'll all move into the sunroom. I keep telling myself it isn't like I've been comfortable in my bedroom. It's freezing in there. So cold, sometimes I lie in bed shivering, unable to fall asleep. But it's been the only space I could call my own. I have my candles, my flashlight, and no one tells me not to use them. I can write or read or just pretend I'm someplace else. I guess it's better to be warm. I want to weep, and I feel like I have no place left where I can.